keyboard.
Half that one.
Alright, here we go. Hello everyone and welcome to Gran Turismo Sport. And it's very rare that I ever do a commentary on Gran Turismo. Well, the first time actually done a commentary on Gran Turismo. But I'm here with two fellow Gavra Racing commentators. I'm joined by the man who always seems to join me nearly everywhere, Mr. Tucson 0208. And I'm also joined by the Scout Dan as well. So yeah, we're in quali for what is now the 3 hours of Spa. This is for the Group 3 cars, or the GT3 cars, as a lot of people know them as. And we're here in the wondrous Spa. Tucson, you've been the organizer of all of this. You would probably want to explain what's happening.
Alright, yes, so for this race you have the 3 hours of Spa-Francorchamps divided by class Group 1 and Group 3 in qualifying. So right now we're seeing the Group 3 cars making their way around the track for their 15-minute qualifying session. After this we'll have our Group 1 qualifying. That is the faster class of car, in which BCMR, mine and Tiger's team has got 2 cars, and Wiggly Style and Team PMT is also racing in that with Woody and Thunder. But yeah, this is essentially a precursor to the 24 hours of Le Mans. That will be coming on the 24th to 25th of July next month. This is basically just a long test so that we can make sure everything works nicely for all of our drivers. And indeed we have got some of the drivers here who are going to be racing in the 24-hour event, looking at Cryptek, Attingren, Finn and Natty, who will all be joining us. Oh, and Sim Sophie will all be joining us in just over a month's time. But yeah, I'm hugely looking forward to this one. I don't know about you two, but let's see what times these Group 3 drivers can do.
Yeah, to see what happens. Yeah, a track that we know very well in Spa, so happy to see how they can navigate GT3 cars. So quite a few of these people, Attingren, Ted, Aston, Natty, Cryptek, all very well known on this track in F1. I mean, you as well, to say, very well known in this track in F1, but it's a lot different. You would believe in GT Sport, as the track is a lot more up to date in this game than it is in the F1 game. So I have to see how these guys fare. Some lovely liveries as well. It's so weird, she said. I never commentate on GT Sports. This is a weird thing for me.
Well, you've driven it plenty enough. You've got about 6 wins under your belt, so hopefully we can channel some of that energy into the commentary today then. So our Group 3 cars making their way through La Source now and down towards the spine-tingling corner of Arujan Rajan. That's right on board with Cryptek in the Pakistani liveried Porsche 911 RSR car. Ignore my wheel vibrating from side to side as we go over the hill then. Just about flat out in these cars. You might see drivers start to lift through there as the tyres wear down through the stint. So Cryptek in the slipstream of Ted in front. The man who finished in 5th, I think, in the Group B Championship last season. He brakes just before the curb going into Le Comte's Cryptek in the Porsche. Hooks it up quite nicely then, having a short burst of full throttle. Now back to full throttle again in the green car and down towards Bruxelles corner, braking into the long right-hander. Try and keep the car as tight as you can to the right-hand side. Now back, put the throttle back to the floor through No Name corner. One of my personal favourites on this track, just down to second there, does the Anglo-Pakistani driver, heading down towards Pujon, the very fast double left-hander. Look behind us, you can see Attingren in the very nicely liveried BMW there, the only BMW in the field at the moment. Cryptek not hooking up the apex through Pujon as much as I thought he would have wanted to. Now underneath the Circuit de Spa-Francorchamps board into Fagnes, where Lewis Hamilton of course had that accident in 2019 FP2. Out of Fagnes and towards the another double right-hander of Stavelot here, again sliding through the apex in the Porsche. Cryptek not really getting this lap hooked up as much as he would like, but still has got that slipstream benefit there from Ted in front. He lifts off, backs out of a lap, and Tim now goes through and will benefit from the slipstream.
I've got to say, yeah, Tim had a monstrous slipstream there behind Cryptek coming out of that final corner. But he goes down now towards the bus stop chicane in his BMW. Let's see what he's able to do. I think it is Aston about to come across the line. He's done a 2 minute 17.8. Let's see what Ted's going to do in his Porsche as he'll come across the line. Let's see what time he sets. He's done a 2:18.7. Tim at 16.0. We know the pace that Tim has, and he's just shown it there. He's gone 1.6 seconds quicker than Mr. X90G himself, the GD Sport admin, who is put in a time of 2:17.7 for him. A couple of other slower time as well, 2:17, but I think those possibly could be possible double out laps, or maybe they've backed out of those laps. Hello everyone in the chat as well. Just gonna say the reason why we are on in YouTube instead of Twitch is just so we can look back at the different things. I believe it is 2:17, just so we can look back through the stream in case there's any incidents or stuff like that, or if we need to see gaps or where people finished as well, obviously, because we'll be changing lobbies constantly, which is why we are over on YouTube. But Toussaint Natty has just gone purple in the first sector by a 10, so keep an eye on him in his Mercedes, his Vodafone Mercedes actually, which is quite interesting. But see what the rest of the guys able to do. There's a big power slide there from Ted through the hairpin on the rear of that Porsche. But yeah, this it seems to be going well so far. But these guys, both of them, to say Tim and Ted, both getting huge chunks of oversteer on the exit of No Name.
Yeah, and Tim tucked up very nicely behind the rear end.
Ted's gone wide through Pujon. Ted's gone very wide through Pujon. And to say something that we haven't mentioned here, and I think that all three of us have experienced in this track, is the AstroTurf is quite deftly around here. If you do touch the AstroTurf in quite a lot of the places, you will lose the car. And Ted giving us an example there of him getting on the AstroTurf on the outside of Pujon and then running very, very wide.
So, and also we've got a few Finn fans in the chat as well. Finn currently finds himself down in 7th in class at the moment in the Porsche, but on a much improved lap this time round, 3.3 seconds up on his personal best lap time as he heads through the final sector now. The German driver who has had multiple podium finishes in the GT Sport Championships here at Gavra. He might pick up a small bit of slipstream here as well from Lees, who is also in the Porsche, I think, in the Mercedes even. Thunder keeps joining and leaving the lobby. But now into the bus stop chicane, much better modelled in this game than in the Codemasters F1 franchise. And now through the final corner, what time is it going to be for Finn as it comes out the corner towards the line? The time extends up to 2 minutes 16.9, goes into second position, 8/10 behind Tim.
Yeah, no, those guys split within about a second and a half of each other up there, so they'll be wanting to get a little bit closer to each other. In terms of the pace, a couple of people too saying coming in for a classic tactic that we like to do so often. It's coming for some fresh tyres in quali, and not fuel the car up. Try and get as light as possible in the car and as fresh tyres as possible. As Finn there completely cutting Radiano Rouge, but yeah, we've got a few people. Simsov on a personal best, I believe that is. I think so. Just gone green there into the final sector. So see what he can do as he comes around across the line, around through the bus stop, towards the line here. Will it be an improvement? And it is a 2:29.6. Definitely be wanting to go a little bit quicker than that, but it's not a bad time at all.
Certainly not, Tiger. And yeah, as you were saying there, the driver's going for that strategy, putting new tyres on the car and no more extra fuel. Of course, only one compound of tyre in endurance racing today is going to be the racing softs, so all drivers will be using that tyre throughout the duration of the race. Well, yeah, we're going to have a lot of drivers out on outlaps at the moment, so things are going to be quieting down for a little bit here. But we'll get back to some action very shortly, I am sure. And we've got Cryptech there, actually, 0.03 of a second behind Ted as it stands at the moment. I know Ted particularly wants to be Aston in this race, so we'll see how that battle develops over the course of the race.
Yeah, let's see, Ted is able to get past him on an outlap at the moment. So is Aston. I think them two of the people that came into the pits. But Toussaint, only just under 6 minutes now left in this session, and let's see what these guys are able to do. They're only going to get a couple of more laps in. I don't think it'll be many. Obviously, the lap is over 2 minutes for these guys around here. For us to send in these Group 1 cars that will be in later on, it'll be under a minute lap. Well, under 2 minutes, sorry. Under 2 minutes around here. About in the 57s, 58s. So
I mean, I just wanted to say on this track in particular, it's all about like consistency and like trying to get a better exit on the corners, because obviously these guys in particular, they want to try and improve their time. So if they can get a decent exit on the majority of the corners, they will have a chance to improve their time, and make some improvements. But Tim and Finn in particular, these two, these are going to be, looks like, Finn in particular, sorry I'm getting my words mixed up here, Finn in particular is looking to try and hopefully get that improvement with over 4 minutes left of quality.
Yes, certainly. I think, as Dan was saying there, more or less on this game, it's really important to maximise your exit speed, slow and fast out, as they say. But Tim now, a master of that, heads through Rouge and Radji on his 5th attempt at a qualifying lap in this session. We'll see who else is on the lap as well. Natty, kind of bring a tear to my eye in that Vodafone Mercedes livery. As a Lewis Hamilton and McLaren fan, that is a livery that I very much like. Yeah, Natty.
I've got to say, Tim has gone 4 attempts up in the first sector, and he had the biggest toe from Natty you will ever see, all the way down the Kemmel straight now. So let's see what Tim is able to do. This could be a monstrous lap from the BMW driver as he goes into the hairpin. As he's managed to hook that up pretty well. He's got to be careful with the turbo on that BMW. It's liable to be a little bit shaky on the rear, as they just get all over the place on the exit of No Name, as it goes down now into Pujon, as it's so crazy to see how the difference between their cars and what our cars will be in terms of performance. We can go through there in 5th gear, Tim having to drop all the way down to 3rd gear, really slow through Pujon. So there's such a huge difference between these two cars.
Well, yes, and we'll see the difference in that time as well. It's about 20 odd seconds between Group 3 and Group 1, and obviously the Group 1 cars will need to be navigating the Group 3 traffic during the race, as it's one of the challenges of endurance racing. Tim, though, going 7 tenths quicker, faster in the middle sector alone. This could be a monstrous lap time here from the Finnish driver, recently picked up by BHR Esports in the BMW now, round the final part of the penultimate corner, into the bus stop chicane, shifting down into 1st gear for the Finn, and now through the final corner, maximise that corner exit, as Dan was saying, to the line. What's it going to be for Tim? It's a 2 minute 14.9. First man into the 2 minute 14. That is a monstrous lap.
Told you it was going to be. He had that huge toe from Natty down the Kemmel straight. I mean, no wonder he went 5 tenths up nearly in the first sector. It's a hugely improved this time. Ifin's on an outlap. Ifin now needs the same toe that Tim had in that pretty much that same part of the track if he wants any form of a chance of getting close to Tim's time. Tim might also be getting the slipstream back on Natty here, and he kind of is actually Tuesday. It looks like these two are kind of doing similar things to each other, as Natty now gets the slipstream back from Tuesday. Back from Tim, and it's going to go a 10th purple in the first sector. This could be a very good time from the GT Sport admin.
It definitely could be. That was a very solid first sector from Natty in the Vodafone Mercedes. Tim will not have another chance to complete a lap, I don't think. I think it's left it a bit too long, but Cryptek behind as well, getting a very nice slipstream now through the middle sector here. It shouldn't affect him too badly in the run from No Name to Pujon. Still tucked up behind the rear of the Volkenhorst M6. Down the hill now towards Pujon is Cryptek, with a Ted in tow as well. A lot of those 4 drivers very close together on track here. We know they also hang out quite a lot off the track, and they do some jolly good banter. Yeah, they'll be helping each other out, I'm sure, as much as they can on the track today.
Sorry to interrupt you there, but I was also saying Finn, he just improved on his time a little bit in the first sector by 1/10, so keep a close eye out on him as well, because he might improve his time just by a little bit. But
Natty now 8 tenths up in the middle sector, so he's lost some time compared to Tim there, but this would see him go onto the front row of the Group 3 field. As we make our way through Blanchimont now, Natty, who has done so much work in GT Sport over the last year and a half to make sure we have all the stuff we need to go racing. Aston pops himself up into 3rd, and I feel like that's about to be beaten by Natty in the Mercedes as he rounds the final corner of the bus. He's very aggressive over the curbs there. That could be a penalty though. Doesn't look like it will be though. Natty to the line. What's it going to be? It's 2 minutes 16.3. Goes into 2nd position. What about the Cryptek? It is going to be a 2-minute 19.0, so lost a lot of time there to Cryptek, but does have enough time to complete another lap, I believe.
Keep an eye on Ted here as well, Toussaint. He's gonna have a big toe up this straight from Tim. So just keep an eye on it, because as he said, Ted wants to beat Aston, and at the moment he's not too far behind him in this quali session. So let's see what's going to happen now as they come up Rana Rouge. Such a couple of famous corners here. As these gets just out of the way. Is Ted now? It's going to have a huge section in the Porsche. Unfortunately, he doesn't really have the straight line speed. You can see it's losing out a little bit from Tim in turn on the straight. But Ted has gone about a 10th up in the first sector, as it comes down now towards the chicane at the end. So keep an eye on him. I'm just trying to see if Ivan's going to improve. He did a 16.8. He's still not far enough behind Natty at the moment. And it's now going to be the final laps of these guys. So these are the final laps in this quali session.
Indeed they are. So, last laps to go, but I didn't see Tim's sector 1 time, so we don't know if he is improving. I think Ted is, though. He was about half a tenth up on his lap time, so not enough to jump Aston at the moment for him. He's missed the apex as well through the first part of Puhon Corner. This is where the Porsche is very, very strong indeed. It likes these long radius, medium speed corners here at Spa.
Yeah, it's the Porsche very, very good in the middle sector. It's very, very good in the corners.
Oh, Natty's spun! Natty's up on his lap!
Oh, Natty has spun. I don't think he was up on his time, though, Toussaint. He picked up a penalty through the first sector, so I don't think anything drastic there. I don't think he was up on his lap, but I didn't see what Ted got through his sector split, and he's got on the AstroTurf a little bit there. The rear of that Porsche slipping all over the place as he comes down now the high-speed final sector towards the bus stop chicane. He goes.
Oh, Aston's lost it as well.
Aston losing it. So Aston will come across the line. He will not be able to improve on that quali. Ivan not improving either. And Tim is right up behind Cryptek here. Let's see what he's able to do as we're going to come round and across the line. Will any of these three improve? Cryptek does. That is 17-0. Will Ted improve? No, he doesn't improve. And just trying to see who else is going to come across the line. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it.
I believe that is it. So, our final order then: Tim, Natty, Finn, Cryptek, Aston, Ted, Lees, and Simsov. Your 8 Group 3 cars then. Well done to all of the drivers. We're going to get back to you very soon with Group 1 qualifying. Once the timer runs down, all the drivers will exit from the race, and yeah, we'll get Group 1 qualifying underway. Only 4 cars in that category, but it will still be as spicy as ever, I am sure. So I'll just wait for this time to go out here.
Yeah, sounds really interesting. But with the Group 3 in particular, let's just quickly talk about that while we're on the subject. Like you said, a few of them drivers in particular, like you said before, Tyler, once you hit the AstroTurf, like you have a high chance of either losing time or spinning out. And so hopefully none of these guys do that, but you know, it's just all to play for. But, you know.
Yeah, as we won't be seeing the race start, as that is for later on. This is just a sneaky teaser of what it's going to be, but these guys will be shuffled further back down the road.
Right, I'm just going to end this lobby. Actually, cool. No, I won't. I'll use it for Group 1 qualifying as well. Yeah, we'll do that.
Group 1 people.
Alright, cool.
And of course, there's always the old one out. I'll go tell that guy to leave.
Yeah, no problem.
Oh.
Apologies everyone, we'll be getting this underway as soon as possible.
Because we'll be having the Group 1 guys come round now, so hopefully we can get everyone in as soon as possible.
The people fighting for the overall win here this afternoon. Alright, I might just start kicking people.
Done and dusted.
Alright, so we've got Dutchie in, we've got, well, Thunder and Woody in.
Yeah, you need to kick a few people.
Oh no, I think Woody's going to be spectating for Thunder, so that's alright.
Yeah.
Got Joe. Joe doesn't need to be here. Bonnie does. Dutchy needs to be here, and Wiggly Style. Let me get Wiggly.
So there's only 4 for this one, yeah?
Yeah, I mean, if people want to spectate this probably then they can, but yeah, I'm going to need to clear some people out for the race.
Yeah, man.
Alrighty then, just getting ready to go now, guys. Just getting the people in, and we'll be nearly ready to go for the quali.
Yeah, right. I'm
just
gonna kick some people. Since if you can hear me, you need to just exit the lobby or press spectate. But actually, they're not in the car, so it should be alright. Okay, so we have a Thunder, a Dutchy, Bonnie needs to be in a car.
Yeah, we need to start in the car as well, don't we?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think there's some.
And we'll be ready to go, guys.
Yeah.
Get going. Group 1, and then what I think we'll do is we'll end the stream there. And then might have to pass it over because I'm going to be racing in one of the stints, and so will 2 Saints. So Dan, it might actually be best if we hand it over to you, pal, to be honest.
Yeah, we'll probably do that at the end of the first stint.
Yeah. You don't deal with me for the rest of the races.
So we might as well just do it at the start of the stint. Because then we don't have to change over midway through the race, do we?
Cool.
No, it's whatever. So I think we'll do this probably, and then we'll switch it over.
Switch it over, and then we'll be ready for the race start.
Yeah, but it looks like we've got some a variety of supporters here in the chat. Let's see who we got. So we got like I said, some Finn supporters, and there's let's see who else we got. Looks like it's just Finn. Everyone's tuning for now at the minute, but
there's a bunch of Finn fans in the chat.
Yeah, a bunch of Finn fans. We'll just name the title Finn fans on.
Just giving us all that German love.
Yeah.
Alright, I think we've got everyone there.
So for group 1, what time are these guys going to be in for?
I think we're going to be looking at 1 minute 56s, I think, for Paul.
Okay.
I really wish PlayStations came with a keyboard.
I could actually connect my keyboard to my PlayStation right now if I wanted to.
Alright, so I think we've got everyone here, so I'm going to start quali.
And then Dan, you'll be able to use the replay feature in the race.
Indeed you will.
Replay. I'll probably will, to be fair. I'll get it ready.
Yep,
You'll have to find the secret keybinds.
I just need to tell that.
There we go then. So our Group 1 field about to get underway for quali. Everybody in the Porsche today.
Yeah, the Porsche looks like the selected car. The Audi and the Toyota, is it 2 Saint, are the other 2 cars which are the available cars for Group 1?
The Nissan is also available, but I don't think anyone is using that.
Yeah, but I think this is definitely the preferable car. I think this is the car that from when we've been doing testing, it is the best on its tyre wear and the one that manages its ERS. It's ERS? It's the battery. It's an ERS. The battery, the best really out of all the rest of the cars, to be honest.
Yes, certainly, and we've got the 2 BCMR cars then out straight away. Bonnie and Dutchy racing in this event and indeed in the 24-hour. Me and Tyke also both involved with this project. I'm hugely looking forward to the race coming up in just over a month's time. But they'll be going out on the track here, trying to make sure that they are on, or secure, sorry, a 1-2, because that's the only thing that we accept at BCMR. Only joking. But yeah, they'll be doing their best to secure good qualifying positions for those cars. Quick information for you, there are 2 cars, BCMR cars today, but there will not be 2 at Le Mans. The 95 car will be making the trip to France in just over a month. The 12 car is being run for this event only.
Yeah. And who will be driving in that? We'll be driving to Lynch.
Yeah, that's our car.
It's crazy to think that we're up in the commentary box now, but then we're going to just be racing in about an hour's time. Well, you will be, and I'll be there in 2 hours' time.
Yeah,
the pressure's going to be on for these 2 fellas. You know, you just up in the commentary box, you're looking, oh, you know what, that looks easy, but when you're actually on track, you turn, you miss one of the corners, and you're like, oh, damn it.
Yeah, so let's run you down on the statistics here of the people in this Group 1 category at the moment. Play Dutchy, double GT Sport champion, Bon Evil, multiple podium sitter, Thunder and Woody, positions 2 and 3 in Group B in GT Sport. We've got some serious hard hitters today in this category, and it's going to be an amazing race from this group, I am absolutely sure.
And someone to say who we haven't seen in GT Sport before in a race like this, really, is Wiggly Star. We've seen him over in F1. He's a Super League driver over in F1. Let's see what he can do here in GT Sport. If he can bring his pace over from F1 to GT Sport, pace that he has in the Super League, then I'm sure we're going to see some quick times from him as well in that beautiful McLaren styled livery, which is lovely. As these 2, Thunder and Wiggly Star, go wheel to wheel into the chicane. I think they're both just trying to get slip off of each other. Thunder obviously just had the launch behind him, and then gets past as you see how quick these Group 1 cars are compared to the Group 3 cars, the GT3 cars, as they come round the hairpin now through No Name, stay in 4th or drop it down to 3rd. If you want a little bit more extra rotation, you've got to be careful of that AstroTurf on the outside. So you go down towards Puhan here, going to ride on board with Thunder 50/50, stays in 5th gear. That is definitely the way to go, as want to be careful of the AstroTurf on the outside. And he's going to drop it into 3rd here. Nice late apex there as he hooks the inside curb there. Almost had to lift a little bit there, as he almost went onto the AstroTurf on the outside. Missed the apex a little bit slightly on the inside, but this still could be a good lap from the Irish driver. As looking at these 2 now, front also slipstreaming as well, the 2 BCMR drivers, as Wiggly Style getting a juicy slipstream off of Thunder behind as well. The big toe now going down towards the bus stop chicane. Let's see what these guys' times are going to be as they come across the line.
And yeah, Dutch going to be the first person across the line. 1 minute 58.0 for Dutchy. It is a 1 minute 58.5 for Bonnie. So Dutchy taking the early lead here in this qualifying session. Thunder to the line, 58.8. Wiggly Style a bit further back, 2 minute 1.1 there. I think as that was a bit compromised up at Le Combe when he came across Thunder. But what they've done now, they've kind of allowed the 2 BCMR cars out in front to get away from the rest of the pack here, slipstream off each other, just try and work as a team and secure a better lap time. But we'll have to wait and see how that plays out in this quali session.
Yeah, as they go down now the very long Hemel Straight, reaching speeds of what's Thunder going to cap out there, 188. He just hit there at the end of that straight. As the thing you'll notice, really, it's unfortunate we don't have any Audis in here too soon, but it would have been good to show the difference in terms of the battery. So you notice here the Porsche will accelerate very quickly out of the corner in the initial stage of the straight, where it will use its battery, and then it'll actually start to recover the battery towards the end of the straight and obviously into the braking zone. Obviously, the more braking you do, the more battery is going to be recovered, but it's something you kind of do have to manage a little bit too, saying in these quali sessions, maybe go for a slow lap, build up that battery, and then go at it, attack again for another lap.
Well, we can see here that Dutchy has managed to save slightly more of his battery than Bonnie behind, so I think he's gone for a slow lap on this lap, whereas Bonnie has found it necessary to keep pushing on here in this session at the moment. 9 minutes left to go in this quali session. I think the others will have cars running it around to the end of the clock.
So, go on, Dan.
Sorry, Dutchy through the
I was going to say, Bonnie actually proved like went up in a time by a little bit, and speaking of that, actually manages to improve their 1 minute 58.3, gradually gaining that time up towards Dutchy. Meanwhile, Weekly Styles doing a 1 minute 59, but hopefully a better quality time, and Thunder is done into the pits. Might be getting a fresh set of softs or something.
I think that would be a fresh set of tyres and no fuel for the young Irishman. Finished P2 in the standings in Group B for GT Sport last season. He'll be looking to go for that win, I'm sure, next year. Sotta go back onto that Porsche and a very nice livery car there. If you can't tell, Thunder is Irish from the car.
Sorry to interrupt there, but Dutchy just did a massive spin there in the second sector. Just lost the car and just that road on that oval there. Sorry to say, carry on.
No problem, yeah, Dutchy a long way off in the gravel there. That will be this particular lap written off. Thankfully the car hasn't been written off as he makes his way through Bruxelles corner now, but he won't be wanting to repeat that in about 7 minutes time when we get underway for the actual race. But yeah, he'll get his composure back. He's a double world champion, and I'm sure he'll be able to get in a solid lap time in a few minutes.
Yeah, now looking at Bonnie, possibly might come in this lap maybe for a fresh set of tyres. I think Dutchy might do the same. That spin definitely would have done some damage to those tyres, so maybe it might be sensible for him to then come back into the pits this lap as well. Look at now, Thunder's on an out lap, Wiggly Style on a lap now as well. Actually 3 tenths up at the moment is Wiggly Style. He's only 5 tenths behind Thunder, 1.5 seconds behind the leader. So let's see what he's able to do now as he comes through the final sector, as flat out through there, now down towards the bus stop, braking just after, between the 150 and the 100 board. He's missed the apex slightly on the inside of the first part of the bus stop, but he's managed to hook it up at the second part, and he might lose a bit of time. He's still improved by 2 tenths, but definitely was going a lot faster until he lost a bit of time there in that bus stop. Again, Dutchy, as I said, he did actually come into the pits. Bonnie decided to then stay out again, which is interesting.
So you're right there, Tiger. Dutchy does dive into the pits after spinning on that set of tyres. Very interesting that Bonnie has decided to continue on here. Obviously feeling like this lap isn't worth giving up on, but the 33.8 in the first sector I think won't be enough to improve his particular lap time as it stands. Now you've got the one and only Mr. Evan Dalton in the chat, who should be driving this afternoon, but he isn't.
Yeah,
but cheering on his all-Irish team there. Thunder, Woody himself, and PMP Matt will be competing at the 24-hour event in late July. So they'll be looking forward to that. Hopefully we'll be able to bag a podium or maybe even the win. Who knows? Anything can happen at Le Mans, and it quite often does.
I'm interested to see, really, a lot of these are spaced out. Apart from Thunder and Dutchy are very close to each other. If Bonnie can get in a slipstream of, say, Wiggly Style, he's only 2 tenths behind Dutchy here. So I think maybe if Bonnie got a little bit of a toe in the final sector and in the first sector, they're definitely the 2 places where you need that toe. Bonnie could possibly snatch pole position from Dutchy, but we'll see what happens. Bonnie, though, will be qualifying, but they're not actually doing the first stint. I don't believe 2 cent. I think Joe is going to be hopping in the first stint in that team.
Yes, Joe will be hopping in the car for the first stint for the number 12 as Bonnie dives into the pit lane then. So we could see all of our cars very close together out on track once again. Thunder, though, is 4 tenths up on his particular lap. This could see him potentially jump Bonnie and go onto the front row of the Group 1 grid with 4 minutes and 30 seconds left to go in this session. What can Thunder do here? Second in the Group B Championship, racing for PMT Racing. Through the bus stop now, braking just before the 100 meter board into first gear, hooks it up very nice through there, misses the second apex a little bit, and now to the line for the Irishman. It's going to be a 58.2, and Thunder goes onto the front row of the grid.
Wow, that's a brilliant time from Thunder. That is a statement. I don't know where he's found that pace from, but well done, Thunder. 50-50. Let's see if he can hold it there. Bonnie on an outlap. So let's see what's going to happen here as Wiggly Style has let Dutchy through. The Weekly Side just coming out the pit, sorry, on an outlap. So 3 minutes 50 left to go here in this qualifying session. And that is a big statement from the Irish.
It certainly is.
Yeah, I mean, it's good.
Oh no!
Oh my days, what happened there?
That was really a big error in communications between Bonnie and Dutchy. Sorry to interrupt there, Dan. Thunder pulled over to the right-hand side of the track to let Dutchy go through. Bonnie slotted in behind Thunder and then weaved back over to the left-hand side of the track as Dutchy was coming through on the flying lap. That was almost very scary.
I think how I saw it was Thunder was using trying to use Bonnie's slipstream, go on the right-hand side of that straight. And Bonnie thought that Thunder was trying to like overtake her. But I don't think he must have seen Dutchy, so because of that, that's how that little bit of chaos happened. But luckily no one got damaged in that section. But yeah, these drivers are going to have to be very cautious in case things like that happen again.
Yeah, because that could have ended someone's qualifying there. I think we're going to get this lap and one more for these drivers then. So because Thunder pitted first of these 4 cars, he now does have the worst tyre wear on the grid as it stands. So his next lap might be hindered a little bit by that. But Dutchy now going to try and improve on his lap time after keeping up with his sector splits. Let's see what he can do as he goes through the bus stop chicane in the Porsche to the line. It's going to be a 1 minute 57.8 from the Dutchman. First man into the 57s today. Goes 4/10 clear of Thunder at the top of the field. But here we go. And it's going to be the last laps of quali here.
Look at the slipstream train at the back here.
Indeed, and could Thunder snatch pole position away at the depth here with this slipstream that he now has from Bonnie behind?
Yeah, if Thunder manages to keep that slipstream of Bonnie, I don't think he has a chance. I mean, if we could do that time without the slipstream, with the slipstream, he might have a chance of getting pole position here.
Oh, but he's very aggressive over Radion. That could be a penalty.
I don't know whether he's a little bit... Yeah, it is. But he could still serve it. Remember, there are places in this track where if you go, you'll be going through the corners and it will just serve it. Like, for example, here at the end of the straight, he's just served a 10th there. But see now, as he comes through the chicane, he might be able to serve quite a lot of it into the bus stop as well. At the end of the track, sometimes you can serve a little bit here, yeah, into the hairpin as well. And you'll see when he's ghosting, that means he is serving that penalty. He comes now through No Name, almost onto the gravel, but still got 3/10 that penalty left. He's a little bit far behind from Bonnie for that toe as we come now flying through Pujon. Can Thunder try and get rid of this penalty and jump onto this and keep the second row of this grid? I don't know if he's going to be able to get a podium. Whether he's going to qualify on pole, sorry, because he's still got 4 attempts to make up as he comes now into the final sector. What will the sector split be?
Bonnie's purple.
Thunder's 2/10 down. So
Bonnie's purple. Bonnie's purple in the middle sector. It could be pole for Bonnie here, and she could jump Dutchy at the front of the field. Dutchy coming around the last corner now. Let's see if he can improve.
Dutchy's about to put in a big time. That's a 57.5 for Dutchy. That's a very good time from the 2-time champion. Bonnie now into the final chicane here. Very aggressive over that inside. Both curbs. It sent the rear into a spin. That's why you don't want to hit both curbs. And it's a 57.6 for Bonnie. How close is that? Thunder 58.8. And Wiggly Style comes across the line to 59.7. That is very close between Bonnie and Dutchy there. Very close.
Great times there. Great qualifying section from Group 1. Only 4 cars in it, but they still are showing that we're going to have quite a race on our hands here.
Yeah,
that's great stuff from all those drivers.
And that's it then.
It is. We will be back shortly with the race. Dutchy will start from pole. Bonnie will make it a BCMR front row lockout for the 3 hours of Spa. Thunder will line up 3rd and Wiggly Style will line up 4th and last in class as it stands then. So once that timer runs out, we're going to get back going again. Well, so we're going to end the stream and we'll be back shortly for the 3 hours of Spa. Thank you everyone so far for watching, all 15 of you. Thank you everybody.
Yeah, we'll see you guys very shortly.